Hello everyone, welcome back. So in the previous video, we had successfully created our Flutter application and we had also set up our Firebase application. And now in this video, I'm going to show you how to connect your iOS application, Flutter iOS application specifically, to Firebase. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to go to our pubspec.yaml file first, and we're going to add some dependencies that our app is going to require. And I'm just going to copy these dependencies, and all of these dependencies can be found inside the pubspec.yaml file of our source code that I have attached to this course, where you can then go into that pubspec.yaml file and actually copy all of the dependencies. And these are the dependencies we require: Firebase Core, Firebase Analytics, Firebase Auth, Firebase Storage, Cloud Firestore, Provider, Image Picker, Timeingo, and Flutter SpinKit. So Firebase Core is the package that contains the core functionality for the Firebase. Firebase Analytics provide us with all of the analytics related capabilities that our application is going to have. Firebase Auth contains all of the authentication logic and services we require. Firebase Storage would allow us to actually retrieve and store data onto the Firebase cloud storage server. Then Cloud Firestore is going to be the actual database that we're going to be using, and this is a specific database inside of Firebase. And when the section comes to where we are first going to initially save some data to Cloud Firestore, I'll give you a more in-depth introduction to what Cloud Firestore is. Provider is going to be state management library that we're going to use. And the reason I wanted to include Provider was, even though we can create this app and Firebase provides excellent state management solutions, I just wanted to put in Provider framework so that you guys can actually see a second library which is really powerful and can help us to actually decrease our development time and implement a really powerful state management solution. So in this app, I've split the state management into two categories. One's going to be vanilla Dart, and then the other one is going to be our Provider framework, and you'll be using around 30% of the time Provider to actually manage our state, and the remaining would be just using stateless and stateful widgets and vanilla Dart to actually do everything else. The image picker dependency is going to allow us to actually access the media libraries on both of our devices, Android and iOS, and we are going to be able to pick images from there. The Timeingo library is going to allow us to actually take all of the timestamps, which is like timestamps provided by Firebase, and actually display them in a text format. And then Flutter SpinKit is a library that I really like, and I wanted to include this because this library provides us with a bunch of loading animations that we can use in the development of our application. So once all of this is set, what I'm going to do is we are going to go back to Firebase. Okay, so once we are at Firebase, what you're going to do is you are going to click on the iOS button, and you're going to type in the bundle identifier. In my case, it's going to be com.example.chatify app. And then I'm going to add the nickname for our application, which I'm going to call it Chatify, or app nickname, which is going to be Chatify. I'm going to register the app. I'm going to download the Google Service info.plist file and make sure to keep it secured, not upload it anywhere else, such as on GitHub using source control, because this application, whoever has access to your Google Service info.plist file, can actually compromise your app security and can access all of the stuff on Firebase. Then we can just skip step 3 and 4, and we can just leave the Firebase setup at step 5, and we can go back to Flutter. Okay, so now that we're back at Flutter, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to locate our runner.xt.workspace, and I'm just going to right click. I'm going to reveal in Finder, and this should show runner.xt workspace to us. I'm going to open this up in Xcode, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Google Service info.plist file that I had downloaded, and I'm going to copy it into my runner folder. And then I'm going to do copy items if needed, and then finish. So now this should copy in the Google Service info.plist file. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to a runner, and we are going to deselect landscape left, deselect landscape right. And then for the target, we're going to click iOS 10.0, and then after that, what we can do is actually go to our runner, which is under project runner, and for our debug, release, and profile, we have to set all of these configurations to none individually. Do this step as a step if you're getting any errors, which say that there is no specific configuration set for your project. And if you have an error that doesn't resemble anything like that and you get no errors and the project builds, then you do not have to actually change all of these configurations. But in my case, I was getting an error, so I did this. Then for the iOS deployment target, you're also going to change it to 10.0. Once that is done, we are officially done with all of the setup required for our XC workspace file. We can close it. And then what we can do is we can close the Finder window, and now we are ready to actually start debugging up our application. So I'm going to click on Start Debug, dot in Flutter, and then click on Start iOS Simulator. And once the application is successfully built and is displaying on the simulator, I'm going to resume the lecture. Okay, so in the process of building my application, I encountered an error which said that the CF bundle version for application is not being set. And if you get this error, then what you can do is you can go to your iOS folder, and then inside of there, you can click on the runner folder and then go to your info.plist file. And then you can go in there and actually manually change the CF bundle version to whatever you want. In my case, I'm going to do 1.0.0 plus 1 or just 1.0.0. You can do command save. The next thing you'll have to do is to also change your CF bundle short version string to 1.0.0, and that should pretty much fix the issue for you, so you can start debugging, and this should hopefully fix all of the issues that we were facing and actually allow us to get our application set up and actually installed onto the simulator. So once the application is installed onto the simulator, and hopefully we do not get any more errors, I'll resume the video. Okay, so once we change the CF bundle version to 1.0.0, and you can put in any version number that we want and the CF bundle short version string, we were able to successfully get our app installed onto the simulator. So this is the default app, and it has all of the dependencies that we require to actually start building our chat application. And now the way we're going to test that our application works is that you're going to go to the main.dart file inside of the lib folder, and you're going to import the analytics package by Firebase, and we're just importing it for the time being. We'll remove this once we actually start coding, and you're just going to do command save. This should reload the app. And now what I'm going to do is, once this is done and we make sure that the app is running on the simulator, we'll go back to Firebase, and hopefully after some time, or for me instantaneously, you saw that Firebase reports a status saying, congratulations, you've successfully added Firebase to your app. And the way this works is that once you import the Firebase analytics package, it actually communicates with Firebase, and Firebase gets pinged, and that way Firebase knows, oh, we have successfully set it up, and this is why the status to us is shown as successfully set up. So now we can continue to the console, and we have successfully set up iOS inside of our application. So now in the next video, I'm going to show you how we can set up our Android app to actually communicate with Firebase. And once we're done with that, hopefully we can move towards the next section where we actually start delving into how to work with the authentication workflow and all of the other bits, and actually start coding a bit. So with that, I'm going to end this video here, and I'm going to see you guys in the next one.